Estée Lauder wants Puig. Nobody's talking about Antonio Banderas. Let's fix that.
How are you and this Antonio Baneras fellow doing?
So first, some context. Puig has been family owned and operated since 1914. And they've been fragrance first forever. It makes up 70% of their revenue. Charlotte Tilbury, Jean-Paul Gaultier, Paco Rabanne, Carolina Herrera, Comme des Garçons, Byredo, and Antonio Banderas, and Shakira. Everything from avant-garde to the Walmart aisle, and every brand has creative independence. And now the Estee Lauder portfolio: MAC, Le Labo, Tom Ford, Clinique, Jo Malone. Prestige in name only, but they're department store staples, not Gen Z excitement. Puig delivers cult brands, but it's a package deal. You get the high end with the mass market. But what makes Puig interesting is that they acquire brands and then leave them alone. Byredo stays Byredo. Meanwhile, Estee Lauder acquires and optimizes, reformulates, sands off the edges. I covered a similar story in my Star Trek video. Genki Wear made weird, campy, artisanal fragrances, and then the license was purchased by Palm Beach Beauty, and immediately they reformulated everything into generic, boring profiles. Comme des Garçons founder Rei Kawakubo is famously anti-conglomerate. Their contract likely contains a change of control clause, essentially meaning that if Puig sells, they can walk. And they absolutely will. Christian Louboutin is similarly selective about partnerships, and Christian Louboutin fragrances have been blowing up lately. That is likely a big reason of why Estee Lauder is interested in Puig to begin with. Estee Lauder wants Puig's edge, but operates like a steamroller. We've heard other people discussing this over the past few weeks, but here's what those stories are missing. Antonio Banderas.
Hey, there's Antonio Baneras. He'll help us.
He has one of the most successful celebrity fragrance lines ever. The Blue Seduction line sold hundreds of millions of units. It's enormous in Latin America and Southern Europe. If you want the full breakdown on how they built this empire outside the US, drop Banderas in the comments. And he's been with Puig since 1997, which is unprecedented for a licensed fragrance.
Is Antonio Banderas a vampire?
No.
And Shakira's fragrance line is similarly successful in those same markets. But these are not Estee Lauder brands. They're mass market, lower margins. History says mass market brands under prestige conglomerates atrophy. Marketing shrinks, distribution narrows, and eventually they're sold off or left to die. And of course, there's another complication. Puig and ELC would equal a massive European fragrance dominance. EU regulators will carve this deal up. There will be divestitures, market separations. The deal that closes will not look like the deal that was announced. Now, nobody asked me, but in my opinion, ELC needs Antonio Banderas and Shakira. Estee Lauder has been struggling. Their revenue has dropped significantly and they need a growth market. Latin America is genuinely expanding into the fragrance market. The brands with the strongest Latin American penetration in the Puig portfolio aren't Charlotte Tilbury, they're Antonio Banderas and Shakira. But will ELC stay married to their prestige portfolio? Or will they be willing to broaden their horizons and keep those brands expanding into the Latin American market? Bottom line, Estee Lauder needs growth, Puig needs independence. I'll be here watching the licenses and reporting every step. Until next time.